disrupted.
America that I fought.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So, when you're ruled by constant sociopaths and bloodthirsty warmongers, and you're being told through the mainstream media, the soundboard of, filling the masses with fear-mongering propaganda, you understand that priorities change, and they change for the worst. And especially when you have these war-hungry, nightmarish people, sociopathic people that just don't care about principles, respect, humanity, anything like that. It's disturbing when you see stories like this, when charitable people that are actually being humble and serving the community get the most tarnish, whilst the individual leaders that are constantly putting, hatred and demonizing society, continuously thrive and flourish. So for example, this happened recently, and we've seen stories like this before, but this is deeply disturbing. It says Texas charity workers have been ticketed for feeding the homeless more than 40 times, and up to $2,000 per each ticket. Texas charity workers feeding the homeless are being penalized, getting $2,000 ticket each time. Now, I'm not a mathematician. I don't know what the how much that is there. Let me see how much that is. What is 40 times 20 or 2,000? So $80,000 total. $80,000 total that they've wasted putting out these tickets. Whereas they could have fed the homeless. They could have actually gave food to people. In other countries, in like European nations, I think in Italy, for example, major stores and grocery stores actually, when they dispose their food, they try to reduce the waste by giving that food to charitable organizations, so that the food doesn't at least go to waste. They reduce their food waste and disposal, which is actually helpful for the city, but it's also feeding the homeless. We don't make that a priority here in North America, the United States and Canada. We tell them to, bug off, go suffer. And then people that are trying to actually feed the homeless, they get penalized for feeding someone. But it's okay to bomb them, right? It's okay to be hatred and bigotry and demonize them and continuously cause war crimes, right? That's how you get peace prizes, according to Barack Obama. So there are many reasons why the United States has one of the world's worst problems with homelessness, including apparently volunteers being harassed by police for trying to help them. A Houston, Texas charity group is drowning in fines after being targeted by police for trying to alleviate their city's homelessness problem, and it's left people both in Houston and online understandably outraged. Food Not Bombs is a long-standing organization in the fight against world hunger. Formed in 1980, and its Houston, Texas chapter has focused much of its efforts on feeding the city's homeless population, setting up vegetarian food distribution events 4 days a week for roughly the last 20 years. But lately, they have been met with a new set of obstacles, not logistics or lack of funding, but rather being targeted by the Houston police with scores of fines, some as high as $2,000 each, for feeding the homeless in public areas like parks and outside city's main library and city hall. Food Not Bomb volunteers have racked up more than 40 tickets just since March 1st, with fines totaling more than $10,000, and members of the group are beginning to fight back. In 2012, the Houston City Council passed an ordinance forbidding people from giving away food in public unless the owner of the land of which they're doing so gives them permission. Are you kidding me? So I have to do you see how like they're creating obstacles for problems that are just going to make problems even worse? That is such. Who came up with that? Who's the genius idiot that came up with that? Who is the dumbest idiot that came up with that? Do you realize that's just causing more bureaucracy and red tape to the point that homelessness is going to spike even more because of this? Like giving people food, but we can't do that unless we go through the legal loopholes of trying to track down the owner of land and ask if it's okay with them in a public park. I guess that ruins the part of public, right? Because I thought public means everybody, right? That's what I thought, at least. Even if the property is public, like the locations Food Not Bombs uses. But the ordinance has rarely been enforced since it was passed over the decade until this year. Isn't that a head scratcher? So they created this law in 2012, and they had to wait till 2023 to they're finally endorsing this. They're trying to get cops to crack down on people feeding the homeless for a decade-long stupid ass ordinance by the city. Oh my God. Food Not Bombs has posted numerous videos to TikTok showing Houston police citing them for their charitable actions and attempting to intimidate them at their food distribution events. They don't like us sharing food in front of our library, a volunteer reported in recent video in which police can be hovering in the background, presumably waiting to cite them. On average, we feed over 100 people, the man filming the video reported, and they just sit out there and stare at us for a whole hour. It takes to assemble the food, and then they ticket us. And you wonder why police get a bad reputation. You wonder why people have a disrespect for law enforcement. People need to understand, you have to earn your respect in society. You have to understand that. You have to earn it. And considering that cops have berated on the communities that they're supposed to serve and protect, this is why there's a lack of respect for law enforcement. Law enforcement don't get respect willy-nilly just because they're law enforcement. They have to earn it. They have to earn the trust of the community, because otherwise, why would the community be paying for law enforcement that cracking the heads of members of the community? Why would they pay their taxes then to criminal law enforcement that's cracking the heads of people who are feeding the homeless? That makes no sense. Why would they pay for this? Why would they pay their taxes then and allow this to happen? But there's some idiots that are like, boo-hoo, law enforcement need respect. Well, then earn that respect. Change it around. Make good of your due. How about the police get in there and actually help feed the homeless? Instead of cracking the heads on peaceful people trying to do good in society. Because the cops aren't doing good in society. They're making things worse. We can show you hours and hours. There's going to be a 24-hour live stream just on the hours of police corruption and the industry that's doing evil to communities all around. According to the Houston Chronicle, the Houston's police campaign of citations has nearly doubled the number of Food Not Bombs members who have been showing up to help feed the homeless and its distribution events. It seems like more and more these days, society is clamping down on the poor. Volunteer Sheer Door, who herself has been ticketed 11 times, said of the citation campaign. I mean, they've been doing that for years now, but definitely there's a definitely rampant attack on people being poor. Poverty is apparently a crime. You know, being down on your luck and having nowhere to go is apparently a crime. You're now a criminal if you are struggling. And more people are going to end up being struggled because society is completely collapsing, because we don't have good intentions anymore. We have no good prosperity because all that prosperity, all those good intentions got wiped away by the criminal masterclass that's continuing to oppress and dominate over us. That is why the police are taking orders from the top down, and they're not respecting members of the community that they're supposed to serve and protect. It's just, she says she and others are not backing down. The city of Houston has allowed food to be distributed to the homeless in a parking lot by a police building, which the city's mayor says is an effort to help sign unhoused people up for additional services. Oh, you mean like jail cells? So we can throw them into prisons and then they can work cheap labor, which is what we've also been doing. Should we mention that? Should we mention that we've been locking up, incarcerating people for cheap labor? Slavery didn't actually go away. Spoiler alert. I know we all like to believe the Abraham Lincoln story, and we did get slavery away from the general public, but we still have private prisons. We still have private slavery. We still have slave shops all around the world. It's never going to go away. It's never going to go away because we have unruled capital and these sociopaths that don't give two shits about humanity. And why would they? Because they care about the capital. They care about their money. They care about themselves. That's the whole point of being a capitalist, is the capital. It's not called humanist. It's not called peopleist. It's called capitalist for a reason. But volunteers and homeless people themselves say they feel it is merely a tactic to keep homeless people out of sight, which is all cops do. That's all they do. That's why they storm into tent cities. It's not about security. It's not about any of that. They just want it out of sight, out of mind, so that people don't look at the problems of the community. It's really for the rich 1% to say that the community is fine. We don't have problems. There's not a mass inequality scale. There's no homelessness epidemic. We don't have to solve problems. Everything's fine. Just shut up. Get out of here. Go away. Don't mention anything. It's like the police are censoring out homelessness. And they are starting to fight back against the police ticketing campaign in more ways to defiantly continuing to show up to hand out food. Houston Food Not Bombs Franklin Kraft Rendon had enough of the harassment, he says, and his fellow volunteers are facing. After being ticketed in March, he filed a federal lawsuit over the citation, claiming the ordinance and its enforcement constitute a free speech violation. The city has countered that the ordinance is a part of duty to ensure food safety, and also claims citizens have been complained about safety concerns pertaining to Food Not Bombs food distribution at public locations like Houston City Hall. Who's complaining? Who's complaining? And if it's food safety, why isn't the health board responding to this? Why are cops responsible for food safety? They don't care about food safety. They don't have any skills or tactics to deal with food safety. That's why the health board comes in. Why don't you have the Minister of Health come in and check the food? Check to make sure it's safe for consumption. Give me a break. You know what it is. You know what it is. Kraft Rendon says is nonsense because Food Not Bombs has been distributing food there for more than 20 years without any pushback until this year. Exactly. The campaign against the group has been outraged on social media as well, including a turning on TikTok with an idea on how Food Not Bombs should fight back. So that is devastating. That is devastating beyond belief. And there's the video here. This is from one of the event organizers, and they're going to show you the ticketing that they got from Houston police as they spend billions and billions of dollars on more law enforcement that they could have actually took not even half of it, less than half of it, less than a quarter of it to feed people, to nourish people, so that people can actually get better in society. It would cost less money to help the homeless than it is to intimidate and punish people for poverty. But here's this.
This nonprofit has been constantly ticketed for sharing food with the homeless.
So what did you just get?
I just got a ticket. This is ticket number 9 for me.
It says feed homeless.
Did you notice on the ticket there? Did you notice? Let me back up there. So it says violations, conduct of food service event, in parentheses, feed homeless. And they're saying that it's about food safety. They're concerned about the safety of individuals. No, it's about they don't want homeless people in plain sight. Who? The landowners, the riches, the people that are ordering the cops to protect them, but not other members of the community. This is outrageous class warfare. This is class warfare. This is them demonizing poor people for trying to get a leg up in society. They want to criminalize and penalize people who are in dire need, who are in poverty. And there's more and more people that are heading down that path than there are people getting up in society, because society is crumbling with a bunch of fucking criminals that are at the top ruling over us. They're oppressing, they're dominating, they're creating these stupid tactics to continue to penalize us regular people. They're weaponizing the middle class to demonize society and make it worse for people.
I'm sure. I was given this citation. What happened was we fed probably over 100 people that were hungry, and got a citation for feeding people that are hungry.
Well, today we are sharing food with friends that we have donated and gathered from people who were donating.
I just got my 11th ticket for feeding the homeless, and this is number 30 for Food Not Bombs.
Cool. We're in front of the public library, which says that we don't have...
By the way, what a great name for their organization, Food Not Bombs, because, you know, all the money, all the billions of dollars, all the $1 trillion, I should say, not just billions, trillions of dollars, wasted on warfare, wasted on bloodshed, that we kill and slaughter everyday people around the world. Imagine if we took not even a quarter of that to help house the homeless, feed them, give them some clean clothes, maybe help them get a job. Do you know how better and greater society would be? It would be an investment to our people, to everyday people, if we focus on peace, if we focus on the common good of society, and instead of demonizing and raging warfare on everything. If we did what they are doing here, just feeding hungry people that are in dire need. But no, we rather waste more energy and more money in demonizing people, locking them away, getting police to crack the heads of their own community members, and rage war on everything, creating bloodshed and tyranny and more despise, more hatred, more societal divide. And it's doing far worse damage. And all they're doing is creating these these disgusting, stupid-ass laws that don't even make sense, that have no backing, no real way of it, because they don't want to actually solve problems. They want to prolong the problems as much as they can, because they are just sick sociopaths that don't care about humanity. They don't care about the people. They don't care about anybody.
have the right to, be here. And, we're conducting a food service event without the consent of the property owner, and it says, in parentheses, feed homeless. A specialty law that is being forced specifically just on us. It's wonderful.
Food Not Bombs Bombs has been providing food for the homeless outside the Houston Public Library without incident since 1994. Since March, the city has been issuing tickets to the group in an attempt.
And I'm sure they asked the Houston Public Library for permission to use their parking lot. Considering they've done this for 20 years, I think the Houston Public Library and the public parks know who these people are and what they're doing there. So again, explain to me the safety concern of all this. Oh, there's food safety concern. Let's get some mealy-mouthed freaking cops over there to crack the heads of people. Because we're concerned about the food, so we can beat them down and bleed them onto the streets. You goddamn sick son of a bitch. Fucking... Oh my God. This is what pisses me off. Honest to God, this stuff like this just pisses me off. That you try to do so good in society, you try to do generous, wholesome things that would actually make things better for people, and this is the response you get. And you wonder why things are upside down crazy. You wonder why things are so out of whack. You wonder why that there's no good in humanity anymore. Because all the good actions get swiped away, get demonized, and then we promote the most disgusting things. You wonder why we live in an amoral society, why we have no morals, we have no values, we have no principles. Because the ruling class destroyed all that. And they destroyed the middle class, they destroyed everything. Because they don't care. They don't care at all about anything except themselves. They are self-serving, narcissistic psychopaths in a criminal cabal. It's a big club, and you and I ain't in it.
Attempt to clear them out and create a safe and special place. The mayor proposed an alternative location, which is next to the police office. Very convenient.
So there you go. Another act of humanity, another act of good that actually brought people together. All walks of life. Simple thing is feeding homeless people is a criminal act, according to Houston. And this happens more times than you can imagine. Even here in Canada, I know cities and towns here in Canada that are also enforcing these ridiculous laws because of food safety. Oh, concern and safety and well-being of people in parks, and blah, 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 blah. No, it's not. It's because you don't want to acknowledge that your town is being is having a problem with homelessness that you're ignoring. You're ignoring your town. You're ignoring the people that live in your town that are now out in the streets because of your negligence, because of your neglect to serve and trust the community. You just don't want to deal with the problem, so you hide it away as fast as possible, censor out and try to throw it away, out of sight, out of mind, and not allow people to actually get ahead in society. It's really just a deep, darkening sickness. And there definitely needs to be more people fighting back on this. How's serving food to someone in need? Considering, this is all donated stuff. This is like, and what are the cops going to do with that food? Probably going to throw it out, which is going to cause more food waste, which is going to cause more destruction for the environment. Like, you're causing more crises to occur by enforcing this. You're not doing a damn thing for anybody. And the cops should know this. They should know this, but they don't know this. Because their industry, their corrupt practices, just tell them to beat the heads, don't ask questions, shoot first, deal with stuff later. And you wonder why we're in the predicament that we're in right now. You wonder why all this stuff, why we're not focusing on common good, why we're not focusing on good morals and good ethic, like all that's just gone. Because we have psychopaths that have more control over everything than good in the world.